What's up, everybody? Rock Too Easy here from Real Talk Football, and it is NFL Week 1, baby. That's right, the NFL is back. But alongside of that, we're going to do some recap on high school football and college football, and we got some pick'ems for this week. Let's go.
Let's go, Cowboys! Hey! Hey, let me get one. Let's fucking go! It's about that motherfucker. Y'all motherfuckers have me pissed off. I go get the motherfucker right.
Hey,
Going on? Let's get it. How you doing, bro?
I'm great, baby. I'm great. I'm Gucci. Let's go. Listen, high school that came, college that came, now it's NFL tomorrow, baby. Let's
sir.
go.
Yes, sir. I'm super excited. It's about time. We've been waiting since the draft, and
Facts.
we couldn't wait for this season. What they have in store for the NFL, like you said, high school has been on, college has been on for a couple weeks now. It's time for NFL to start, and it's about to start cooking. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. But also make sure you guys subscribe, and follow the pages: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're all over the place, baby. We're gonna keep pushing this content, and we're gonna keep growing from here. Shout out to everybody who's been following and supporting us leading up to this thing. Now we
Yes,
really
sir.
about to get this thing kicking off.
Make sure you
You ready?
follow us. Make sure you check our boys out. If you're a real baseball fan, Real Talk Baseball and Real Talk Media is about to be coming out real soon. Stay tuned, people.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. You ready to get this show started?
Yes, sir. You already know.
All right, now time from high school recap. I'm gonna go over a couple games that I've covered and seen this past weekend. Malvern Prep and LaSalle College. This was a damn good game, bro. Damn good game. LaSalle College came out with the win. They won 21-17 in a hard-fought battle game. Samaj Bills had 465 yards and 6 touchdowns, bro.
Wrong game, bro.
What?
Wrong game. It's at Malvern Prep and LaSalle. Wrong game. Keep going. You good? Hey, players screw up. Screw up.
He is Roman Catholic. Dang, yeah. I definitely messed up.
Yeah, good.
Oh, man. Ain't that some gene?
We just rewind. It's all good. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. Keep it pushing.
Nah, but I still got the schools mixed up, but I definitely still, like I said, I watched both those games. So I didn't got all my notes mixed up. Right, I ain't got no paper notes. I got my notes that I wrote in wrong.
Yes, sir.
But good. Yeah. But still, once again, like I said, this was a hard-fought, close game. Two teams that have two top talented guys. Like Malvern Prep has 3 Power 5 D linemen, bro. Wow. Jackson Ford, Cam Brickle, and Bernard Blakey. Those dudes was really great against the run. I need to see more from them on the pass rush game because that quarterback on LaSalle had 0 sacks, bro. 0 sacks on him. So while that run game was stout and potent, like stopping that run, they weren't getting any pressure on him, and that's why he was able to get off a couple big plays. He had like a 50-yard bomb to Julian McFadden, young kid, stud. He had 2 big plays. He had a touchdown also. But so they were going back and forth. Malvern Prep, they ended up benching their quarterback at the beginning of the benched him in the beginning of the third quarter. He threw a wild pick. And I think they started out with him more so because I think he had more of a read option threat with him being able to run. Okay. So once he came out, Skylar Smith, by the way, his name got benched. They came in for Jackson McClellan, quarterback. He's a top baseball player also. He came in and started throwing that ball around, and that's when they actually started playing their attack to come back. But it was a little too late. They ran out of time. I think that if he would have started the game and they would have had more of a balanced offense with that run game, because their run game was strong too, with that balance of run and passing, this would have been an even crazier game. But like I said, kid came out. He tried. he did what he could for what he was in Skylar Smith, but their run game, they needed to pass the ball whenever they got in third and long, and he just wasn't reliable.
Right. Got you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, but I want you to talk about. Let's get to that game though. But I want you to talk about because I know you watched the game. I want you to talk about who we are crowning our player of the week in Samaj Beals from Roman Catholic. Let's talk about him because he had a big Saturday for sure last week. So let's talk about him. What you got on my man?
Yeah, like I said, before I fumbled the bag, 23 for 31, 465, and 6 touchdowns. Out of here. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, listen, he's a problem. And like, not only him being a bro, I think it was the touchdown extra point with fumbled snap, caught it, ran around. Take that.
Right.
Take that. That's exactly how he was piecing them up out there, bro. And his receivers is nice too. Like they make plays also, and they not even just like jump ball threats or getting guys burnt. They're getting yacked too, bro. Breaking tackles and getting busy.
Got a couple of receivers that's fast over there too. Yeah.
Yes, bro. That Roman Catholic is definitely going to be tough. It's so much talent around here, man. I'm like so excited, and I'm happy that we're gonna be able to be going to these games this year, man. Oh my goodness, definitely. Yeah, like I said, that's my player of the week for sure. Who you got?
Well, I would say again, listen, man, our boy balled again from TEP, but I'm going Jabri Coleman from TEP, the running back, who balled out again they played a team from New York. They won big, 56-14. Jabri, who was recently committed to Georgia, decommitted, and now is committed to the Penn State University. He had a big game for MOTEP as well, alongside his quarterback, his sophomore quarterback. Again, those boys are reckoned with, and them together moved their team to 2-0. But nothing compares to what Samaj Beals did this weekend. So
definitely. Yeah, that boy, like I said, that boy balled out. I'm looking forward to seeing him play live this year. Definitely gonna be looking forward to him. The other game that I've covered was St. Joe's Prep and St. Edwards.
Yeah, big upset.
Definitely a big upset because you're not seeing that from Prep. But from when I watched at the game, it just looked like it was a week 1 game. These guys just wasn't ready to play some football right now at that moment. You know, they had costly turnovers. They had a block punt for a touchdown. East St. Edwards did. They had a fumble recovery. They was right in the red zone, scored real fast. They had a kick return for a touchdown. And then Prep just started pouring on. Like they started getting going in the second half, but it was just too late for them. I think next week. Well, I'm sorry, this week they'll be ready to play more. But as far as this week went, they just was a bad week for them. Like I said, they just started out slow, and that happens sometimes. And that's why you play these out of conference games. Right. See where you're at.
Yeah, and it's unlike Prep, especially winning the last 3 out of 4 state championships. Like, yes, they started slow last year against IMG. Offense couldn't do anything. Defense blocked a punt, got them back in the game, and then they had a chance to win. But the offense last year just couldn't get it done. And then what does Prep do? They run off 15 straight into the state championship game last year. So let's see if they can rebound this year. This week, I should say, not this year. Let's see if they can rebound and get back to their winning ways this week.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to cover my last game.
Yeah, go ahead, my boy. My fault.
Last game I got, it was belts to asses. I'm just calling it like it is. Belts to asses. Easton 49, Springford 7.
Yeah, this was disappointing to see when I was looking at the scores after I came home from the game I watched. We'll get into that, but this was disappointing to see after such a strong week 1 from Springford and Matt Zollers and his team, and then Missouri commit.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it was 49-7. He ended up having 7 for 17, 84 yards and 3 interceptions.
Wow.
It was a struggle for him. I didn't get to watch that game, but I'm actually going to be looking forward to seeing him this Friday against Downingtown East So I'll
Mhm.
definitely be tuned in for that. But that Eastern team, like it's been known to be good for years. And
Yeah,
so that run game was so strong, bro.
yeah.
You had they combined for 315 rushing yards.
Sheesh. Where's
315.
the D line?
Young bull Dorian Thomas, 13 carries, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. His one John was a 100-yard run, bro.
Stop it. That should not happen. Should not happen.
William Day, 12 carries, 97 yards, 3 touchdowns. They was listen, man. They look like the Springford had the Cowboys defense, rush defense in the playoffs.
Against the Packers.
That's what they had. That's exactly what they had, you know. So I'm Springford, they had a big week 1 win against Souderton. Then they take this loss, but it's a big game that they got going up against Downtown East, who's also they're 0-2 right now. They took
Yeah.
that loss to North Penn. They lost to Toms River 31-2 last
Oh,
week.
wow. Yeah.
So with that being said, we looking for a good game Friday, a damn good game.
Good game. Yeah.
Definitely, bro. Looking
I
forward to that.
got a couple games this week to look at. Even though they lost a heartbreaker Friday night, went to the Truman Abington game, was real close by. Had to check out my homie Cordero, head coach for Harry S. Truman. They lost a game they should have had no business losing. They hurt themselves. They lost 7-6. Couldn't punch it in the second half. Was controlling the clock with that wing tee. They had a chance to win the game at the end, but the field goal got blocked with 4 seconds left in the game. Was about a 30 or so yard field goal. It got blocked. Kick just didn't get high enough, and Abington blocked it to come off with the win. And the game probably would have won in overtime if Truman wouldn't had that penalty on the extra point when they scored their first touchdown to answer Abington's touchdown. They had a 10-yard holding penalty. They backed them up, and that kick got blocked. So like I said before, they were hurting themselves, and this is why Truman lost that game. But they look to rebound against a 1-1 team, as they are 1-1 as well against Penridge this week. So good luck to Truman and my boy Cordero, head coach Cordero. Now, also, I got the 2 CBs, CB South and CB West. They lost a lot of guys last year, and they are already off to a hot start. They're both 2-0. CB West beat Upper Dublin last week. CB South is going to play Upper Dublin this week.
Okay.
Same way CB West won. CB West won last week. I look for CB South to win that game and go 3-0. So they go off to a hot start. And North Penn is also off to a hot start after their 6-5 season last year. They're already 2-0. They play a team that was looking to start off quick, but starting off a little slow. They're 0-2 Quakertown. So North Penn looks to go up 3-0 against them. So that's going to be a good game out in Quakertown. And last but not least, Council Rock North versus Pennsbury, 2 1-1 teams who look to still both rebound. Pennsbury rebound last week, so did CR North, and they're both 1-1. They look to go up 2-1 and stay in those top 15 to 20 range of rankings for the 6A playoffs this week. So not much on the suburban area. There's a lot of games going on in Philly that's going to happen this week that we are going to hopefully attend. And then this is the last week for those guys to get those jitters out before they start the in-season in conference play. You get those 3 out-of-conference games. Now it's time to step up. The bright lights is really going to be on when you get into conference play, and the game is going to be tough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you got your game to look forward to for this week for high school?
Game to look forward to for high school this week is the game we're going to, Chester versus Ted. Chester versus Ted.
That's right. We're going to be in the building, baby.
For sure. Reason why I will always support Chester is because my mom is from Chester. We used to go to basketball games, and they used to play Kobe and them in the Palestra back in the day,
Uh-huh.
Marion versus Chester. And Jameer Nelson was called the Hatter Killer back here because we used to play Happer Horsham used to play them in the playoffs. Chester and Jameer Nelson wake up in the fourth quarter and beat us every time we had to lead. But also definitely always going to support my man, head coach Dev Imhotep. His family to me. Played with his cousin in high school football. Played with Dev in college. So I'm always going to support my man and support his players any way I can. So I'm looking forward to seeing his family and getting out there to seeing his team this year and looking to try to run it back, even though it may be in the 6A state championship instead of the 5A this year.
Hey, that's right. That's right. That's right.
How about
Definitely a big game to look forward to. Yes, we will be in that building.
you?
Was that
Yes,
Germantown Super Site, right? At 3?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, then. Yeah, so like I told you, for Friday night, I'm gonna be popping up at Springford versus Downingtown East. See which team is gonna overcome that 1-1 and 0-2 deficit that they're in. Looking to see how Matt Zoller is going to turn it around this week. The second game another game I'm gonna be popping up at is St. Joe's Prep versus, I don't even know how to say this name, Erasmus Hall. Erasmus Hall. It's a team from New York, ranked 17th in New York. So we'll see if we're going to bounce back from that loss that they had, and if they tighten up everything that they had from last week's loss, come out a little bit more locked in, a little bit more focused, ready to win this game. That game's actually going to be at Norristown High at 7:00 on Saturday. So I'm be floating, baby, definitely floating.
You're gonna be everywhere. You're gonna be everywhere this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Third game.
Will the stadium seat be in attendance?
Oh, you already know it will be. You already know it will be.
This boy's out of pocket.
I'm gonna be there early. Plant my sheet. Listen, especially when it get cold out.
Right now, you wild, bro. You wild.
Don't hate on me, dog. Don't let me be great. I'm old head.
Right.
Yes, sir. So in the third game of the week, my town, baby, Norristown, already on a 2-0 start.
Yes, sir.
They go up against Kennett, and I expect them to go on a 3-0 start. That's right. We on a roll, baby.
You said Kennett?
I'm gonna be checking out a game.
You said Kennett? Yeah, okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they play against Kennett. They won their first 2 games, close game against Penwood, and then a close game against Upper Marion. So these guys, it's been a while since we did this, man. It's starting to feel good. It's some momentum right here. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be at that Norristown versus Methacton game.
Okay, solid.
For sure, I'm gonna definitely be at that Norristown versus Methacton game. But yeah, that's the games that I got for this week, man. I'm looking forward to them all. For sure.
Solid. We're gonna move on to the next topic. We're gonna get here and get this college recap in. It was a big week too. A couple games. I mean, we picked some games last week that gonna be upsets. That was gonna be good games, and they ended up being blowouts like that Penn State West Virginia game. Penn State blew them out the water. Miami blew out Florida, and it was a little fighting at the end of that game with the.
Whoa, bro! Did you see that?
What?
Miami was recruiting the young boys.
Yeah,
that was
And that's the thing. It was. You know what's crazy? I heard one of the players say, "We run Florida. I'm like, hold up, time out. When's the last time y'all beat FSU? I'm confused. But we're gonna get speaking of FSU, and you know I'm a fan of my guys, and I'm always gonna support my guys. But these last 2 weeks have been depressing. DJ,
let it out, man. Let it out.
DJ Ugalele, whatever how you say his name, is booty trash juice, man. Like, bro, I was already upset at the fact that Mike Norvell got him out the transfer portal. Bro, he was run out of town as soon as Trevor Lawrence got recruited there. He was gone. He couldn't play under the pressure with Trevor Lawrence right over his shoulder. He leaves. Mm-hmm. He goes to Oregon State. He plays 13 games last year. He stinks it up over there. That's the Pac-12. You couldn't do nothing over there.
Right.
When you come over to ACC, you play for, and we go get him. Like, why are we getting somebody? We already ran out the ACC to bring him back, and he can't hit a wide open receiver. Granted, there was a lot of drops last night in the game, or Monday night, sorry. But he was throwing all over the place. He was inaccurate. He wasn't comfortable in the pocket. I think we need to run the game more, but FSU is out of here. I'm very disappointed in their performances, and they had a right to say we want Brock Latt on Monday night too to get him right out of here. How about you? What did you see this weekend other than that FSU in Miami?
Hold on, but before we move on from what do you think changed so much from last year when they went undefeated until now?
We got a lot of transfers that came in this year. We lost a lot. We lost a couple of NFL guys too. Not much change. I think we reloaded. I mean, even though Verse and tripping right now, he's a teammate. He was a teammate with him. Verse's teammate was on FSU last year as a D tackle, and they're now teammates at the Rams. They both got drafted by the Rams.
Oh wow!
I forget his name is a D tackle. But we have Marvin Jones Jr. and Patrick on the DNs. They got absolutely no pressure at all.
Right.
The quarterback, Castellanos, ran all over them up the middle. Their running backs one of the running backs, Ward, transferred to Boston College, used to play for FSU. He ran down our throats last night.
Right.
I was a little nervous when I saw before the game swiping through Instagram and I saw Bill O'Brien as the coach and offensive coordinator. I'm like, oh man, we might have a tough night, and we sure had a tough night. We couldn't get none started on offense, which was crazy. But the defense, they got shredded. Running. When a team in football runs down your throat, like up the middle or on the guards, not trying to get outside on the tackles, they run down your throat in A gap and B gap. That's
gonna be a long day.
That's a problem. You can't stop it. The game is over.
Right.
Game is over. First and second quarter come out and you ain't stopping. They just run the clock out, chewing the clock. You can make all the adjustments at once. It's about the players at this point. It's about pride at that point. So there wasn't nothing there. The linebackers was just non-existent.
Getting washed. Everybody was getting washed.
Everybody getting washed. And then the DBs was making tackles all game long. So
right. Oh man, that's bad, John, for sure.
Right.
Well, I mean, granted, like I said, I understand everything that you're saying, but those are two. I'm not expecting both teams that you lost to in Georgia Tech and Boston College to go on a run, but those are two teams that play teams tough. So that I don't expect them to only upset Florida State. I expect them to have other upsets this year too, especially when you got a Bill O'Brien in there, who's a coach who's been around a while, college and pro. So I expect him to be dialing up a lot of different things for them this year.
But you got to find a way to win as a top 10 team in Ireland, regardless if you're home or away. And then come back from Ireland, you come home, and that's the performance you put out there after you just lost to Georgia Tech out there.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing as a football team. That's embarrassing as a whole community, and just trying to support that team. It's embarrassing the way they performed on Monday night.
So is it Miami the best team in Florida this year then?
But that's to be seen, because they still got to play us, and then we got to go play Florida, and we've been busting their behinds.
Florida.
We've been busting their behinds for the last couple of years. So until they beat us, we still run Florida regardless of our record. We run Florida until they beat us. You know what I mean? That's how we.
I figured that. Game I wanted to cover is Georgia dominating Clemson. Georgia came out and did what Georgia does defensively. You know, they shut everything down. And Dabo, you're gonna stay stuck in your ways until you get fired. I mean, I don't even know if you could get fired, because they're not gonna send you home with that contract you just got. Right. Dude, you got to recruit. You got to spend that bread. Money talks. That's just what it comes down to. And if you don't
learn from Nick Saban, like when the best leaves because of this, you gotta make a move somehow, some way.
Exactly. So we'll see how that goes as far as with Clemson for the rest of the year, because it is Georgia and they do have one of the best defenses in the league. So I can't get up too high or too low about how Clemson is going to turn it around. So we'll see how it is with the rest of the schedule for the rest of the year. But Georgia being that number one team, do you think that they're the number one team in college right now?
I don't think so. I think there's a couple teams on my list that may have something to say about that. Considering that Georgia right now is a defensive team, you're going to have to score if your defense is struggling. Your offense is going to have to pick them up so they can stay in the game. And I don't know if Carson Beck is going to do that when they start playing the certain elite defenses, whether it's in SEC or in another conference, out of conference play. So SEC really doesn't really schedule big time opponents out of schedule. So like that's never going to happen. But when they start in conference play, it's still tough in the SEC. Everybody beats up on each other. It's the best conference. But the teams that I think that's going to have a lot to say about to be the number one is Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, and you still got Bama, even though they were a drop off a little bit last year, but they made the playoff last year. So you still can't count Bama out no matter what their historical college and football college, and they going to come to play. Milroe going to get the boys to play every single week. So I think Bama will have a lot of it, but I think Bama is going to be the least of Georgia's worries. I think they'll handle them. But I don't think the season starts until week 7. There's some big matchups in week 7. You got OSU versus Oregon. You got Ole Miss versus LSU. You got Penn State versus USC, and you got Texas versus OU.
Oh, Penn State, USC. Okay.
And excuse me, I know I got kids and I know I got wife. Guess who ain't moving from the couch that weekend? So
you better get all your duties done. Hold on, you better get that grass cut there.
ladies, you better think of something to get the kids out the house because I ain't moving. My oldest son probably ain't gonna move. He gonna be right next to me, so I ain't going nowhere.
You gonna need a case of beer with that too?
Facts. Maybe a high nooner. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I think that I think the best team in college right now is Ohio State. That defense is just as potent. They got the corners, the guys who can cover. I like their offense. I like the receivers that they got. I just think they're the best well-rounded team. We'll see how this shakes and moves as the season goes on, because you got Georgia. They'll play Alabama, like you said. They play Texas, and they actually play and then they play Ole Miss also.
Right.
Ole Miss has gotten better over these years, so we'll see how that goes for them. And then Ohio State, they got to play Oregon. They got to play Michigan, of course. And then you never want to, not saying that they can beat them, but it's going to be a drag out fight against Iowa, because Iowa always plays tough.
And you remember this week, like you said earlier, you got Texas versus Michigan this week too. So even though I think a lot of people are high on Texas, Michigan is Michigan, but we know all the drama they've been through the last couple months and the way how sluggish they played last week. The spread is 7 on that game. I don't think the game gonna be close.
Nah, I think Texas gonna run up. That offense is serious. Them two running backs that they they get busy for sure. And that offensive scheme is nice too. Once they get on the goal line, they drop some nice stuff too.
Shark knows what you're doing over there.
Definitely turn Texas around. That's love though.
Yeah,
because Texas, when Texas is winning, that's That's where
the money.
They got money down there. That oil money.
That's what the money generate. That's who they want on TV. That's where the money generate when they're good.
Exactly. Yep. And then you got Arch too.
Yeah, man, I ain't worried about Arch, man. Arch is overrated. When that time comes when he's a full-time starter after Quinn probably leaves after this year, if he keep balling and stay healthy, we gonna definitely talk about that next year.
Yeah, they gave him a touchdown at the end of the game because it was a blowout already early too. So we'll see how it turns around for him.
For sure.
What other games you looking forward to this week for college?
For college, I'd be honest, I ain't even look at the schedule because of the way I wasn't even home last week to even watch games until like later in the night time. And then when I was watching it, I was watching games at my draft, my fantasy draft. But We did. The one game I was looking forward to was just the Texas Michigan game. That's the only kind of big one. A lot of the top 25 teams play some cupcakes. So the biggest game that's going to be on is Texas and Michigan. And you always want to, even though we may think it's going to be a blowout or not a blowout, it's going to be a good game. You got some NFL prospects on the field, and you like to see them. So I'm looking forward to watching that game too.
Definitely. I have that as one of the games of the week. Another game that I have is Tennessee and NC State. I kind of smell an upset there because Tennessee offense, but you're going to NC State, who always plays you tough and has a good defense and run game. So I'm definitely going to be tuned into that game and see how that offense is flowing in North Carolina.
That's also another team that FSU has struggled with in the past couple years of losing to them. NC State has been good for years. Even after Russell left, they came to reboot at like quarterbacks just keep coming there. They've been doing very well, and they know how to score. They know how to play hard defense, and they're fast. So I agree with you. That game is going to be tough too.
Yeah, definitely going to be tuned into that. All right. Now, we're done with college. Now it's on to the big dogs, to the pros.
Yes,
deadlines make deals, you know, and sometimes that's how it goes. When the pressure keeps cooking, the contracts keep the wreck. So with that being said, as of last night and today, that boy Trent Williams got his big behind off that couch, got on that plane and went and got that restructured deal. For the next 2 years, he's going to be making $48 million, making him one of the top tackles in the league, 27.5 million this year. I'm happy that he got paid. I'm happy that he's back with the team. He actually tried to put in, not even tried. He actually also commented on his player getting robbed as another wake up call for him, making sure that he made it there, and just getting back with the guys and getting
speedy recovery for Parsall, Ricky.
Definitely.
Prayers. We're glad he's not. I'm glad he's still here and he can still play football.
Yes.
You know what I mean, he's still walking.
I don't know how ramped up they're going to be able to get Trent Williams, because it's some positions you can't just come off the couch, and you can be training all you want, but playing football is just different. You just got here yesterday. You got a game on Monday night. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah. I'm not really sure how it's going to go either. I'm with you, and I'm glad he's back because he is very valuable for them. I think they need him to win, as we talked about a couple episodes before. When he was out, they lost 3 straight. Even though him and Debo was out, even if Debo played, I think they still lose those games because Trent Williams is the most intricate piece, the most important piece, I should say, on that offensive line. Is Brock Purdy's blind side as well. So, glad he's back.
Yes, sir. And another contract. Now, I wouldn't say it was too much pressure, but it was a lot of talk last year of trades for him. But I doubted they was going to try to get rid of this young man because he's a stud. And Patrick Surtain getting that $4 million, $96 million, 77.5 guaranteed. Young boy got that bag.
Yes, he did.
Chuck on that ass.
Well deserved for him. Patrick has been good since high school when he played at Heritage. He's been good when he went to Bama. That was Saban's prized possession. I remember him and who was it? He played tripping safety for the Steelers. Why am I tripping? Minkah.
Yep.
Yeah, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Them two were his prize possession. They could do no wrong. He would never yell at them, and they was just because they was him. Before him was him. They was him. This is well deserved for the Broncos. I think he makes that defense go. So in that back end, this is well deserved. There's no words to even describe anything for him because he is a lockdown corner. He is going to take out your top receiver every single week. He may give up 1 or 2 catches for 13 yards, and that's it. He rarely gives up a touchdown unless it's a busted coverage and it made it, and the safety make it looks like his fault. But you know what I mean? But it's well deserved for him.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm happy young boy got that bag, man. The Broncos, they're turning over a new leaf with Sean. Sean's trying to get rid of all the guys he didn't want and rebuild and revamp that whole team. And I like the direction they're going into.
Right.
Last but not least, the deadline happened. The deal didn't happen, but his ass is back on that field in Jamar Chase.
For sure.
So he practiced today, but on a limited limited work. You think he plays week 1?
Yeah. I think he plays regardless of the deal.
Right.
And I also think they get a deal done in the next 48 maybe
Hours.
Yeah, the next 48 hours, maybe even shorter. I don't expect him to not be signed by I expect him to be signed by Friday.
Okay.
I expect him to be
I
signed
don't.
by Friday.
Right.
And be on the field week 1. And like Joe Burrow even said, wide receiver 1 is ready to go. They play at home, so like it could happen Friday, it could happen Saturday, but I don't think it happens no later than Friday.
Right. We'll see how that cheap ass owner is. That cheap as hell. I thought I was cheap. I stay looking for a hookup, but boy, he cheap. Like he's wildly cheap. But you know what's so crazy? So now that only leaves Hassan Reddick out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what he's gonna do.
I don't know what if he is willing to sit out and get all these fines. Like
He's a nut.
But my thing is though, I don't blame him as much as I blame
the Jets.
You knew he needed a deal.
Right.
He wanted to get traded because the Eagles wasn't going to give him all that money that he wanted. So what you trade for him for? I understand you say, if you get in the building, you get the practice, we'll get you that deal. Nah, stop playing with me. You already knew I wanted the deal to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And you wasn't, and then head coach ain't talking to him. You ain't talking to the head coach. It's just, this is what the Jets do. The Jets been doing this since Darrelle Revis.
Yeah, and they was being funny money with him.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of your top corners, I know Hassan hasn't been with y'all, but like that's a pass rusher. That's what the NFL is. Y'all need pass rushers. You can't depend on just that front four to get you pressure with Quinnen Williams and all them. Like Quinnen gonna be getting doubled.
Yep.
Imagine if it was Quinnen and then you have Hassan. You can't double Quinnen now.
Yep.
So I think the Jets screwed themselves in this deal, and also Hassan screwed himself a little bit too. Yep. If you do, I don't know what I think he's gonna be out for the year, and he'll be a free agent next year.
Gotta be wicked work.
And then he definitely ain't gonna get that money.
No, and he's like I said, that's 1 year older for him. So that's nasty.
I'll make him 31.
They gotta figure that out. Definitely gotta figure that out. And talking about the Eagles, they just lost their linebacker, who we don't even know if he was going to start to begin with, in Devin White.
Oh yeah, he was starting. They had him blocked. Yeah.
You sure about that? They said Nakobe Dean had him beat out.
Nah, Nakobe is going to play probably along with Jeremiah Trotter, depending on how they trust the rookie. But Nakobe Dean is going to be there to start for Devin White, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. already plays special teams. So I think he'll maybe get some reps depending on how much they trust him. Or Vic Fangio, I say, trusts him. So, but
how you think that's going
to what?
How you think that's going to impact the run game for them?
So listen, let me ask you this: what is Eagles' strength on defense? This should be an easy answer.
Well, interior D-line.
They're D line.
Interior D-line.
They're D-line. And so they still waiting for Davis to be that number one pick, waiting for him to show up. And then you got Carter. Carter balled out, but fizzled off the last half of the season, just like the rest of the defense. You have young corners.
Mm-hmm. Young and old.
Old with Darius Slay, but he's more experienced than everybody else. And
I think they got Rodgers starting on the other side.
Yeah, rookies and first and second year players, and then you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back there. But your other safety, Blankenship, he ain't like that either. He ain't like that either. So I think
Barbecue chicken alert.
right is depending on how the run game is. They got Josh Jacobs, and everybody know he run hard. He ain't going down on that first hit. So
Right.
depending on how the run game is, if the run game is going well, they're getting 4 to 5 yards a pop. Here come that play action that we know LaFleur likes to run with Jordan Love. And if you ain't alert, guess who be going behind the linebackers? Romeo Dobbs, Reed, Watson. It ain't like they may have some no-name receivers, but them no-name receivers can play ball. So
You know who game I think this is going to be for? Being as though, all right, you already got White out, and Dean is he's had a better camp this year, but the tight end Musgrave, I think he gets off because they don't really have linebackers that cover that well. So that's who I'm thinking might have a good night for them.
Yeah,
but we'll see though. But like I said, they if Jordan Davis is coming out fat and sluggish like he's been, and you only got Carter, they're going to double team Carter all day. Then you got linebackers, guys got to come down here, and Dean's a smaller linebacker already as it is.
And their offensive line is good. It's not like they're slouches back there. So
yeah, definitely.
So I look for Green. I do think Green Bay will end up winning that game in Brazil just because of all the moving parts that the Eagles have, like they on defense.
Hold up. We ain't there yet, goddammit. Hold on.
My fault.
Let's not get there. We got to do a pick 'em for that, goddammit. But before we do the pick 'em,
my bad. Before we do the pick 'em,
let's do some power rankings
for sure. Now, ESPN came out with their power rankings. I ain't really like them, Jones. They always do it by what happened last year or what happened in the draft, free agency, all that, instead of just looking at their team holistically. That's what I did with my power rankings. You want me to go first, or you want to go first with yours?
You can go first, but I want you to go 10-1.
You want me to go 10-1?
10-1. Start at 10, work your way to 1.
All right, at 10, I got the Cowboys at 10. Even though the Cowboys did not do much in the draft, moving around, trading up, or anything in the free agency, they got Lamb back. They still got the quarterback back. Yes, the run game may be run back by committee, but the defense is still intact. Even though with Bland just getting hurt, the defense is still intact. With a better defense coordinator, I think he's going to get them boys moving. And then I have Miami at number 9. Miami at number 9 because, yes, they have an offense. They were ranked a little bit higher in ESPN. But I'll tell you, I have them at 9 because they lost their 2 edge rushers in Chubb and the young bull that played last year. And they're still coming off an injury and they aren't back yet. So that's going to be an issue for them. My ESPN had Miami ranked at number, dang, this is going crazy. They had Miami ranked at number 8 and I have them at 9. So just one slot down. And then I have the Eagles at number 8. They had the Eagles at number 5. The reason why, like I told you, I look at them holistically, right? Holistically. Yes, you got all that firepower on offense. Hurts, AJ, Smitty, Saquon, Dallas Goedert, and that's it for me. If people keep saying Jahan Dotson is going to be a factor.
Bro, it's a joke that I keep bringing his name up. It's hilarious.
What film have you watched in the last couple of years? Stop watching Penn State film because he's not at Penn State no more. He hasn't done anything in the league. Yes, you got.
That's why they traded him in conference.
Exactly. So he's not a factor for them. But it's that defense. We just talked about that back end of that defense. Change coordinators like we talked about the last couple episodes with them. So I think they halfway good. So I got them a little bit lower. And then I have Then I have the Green Bay Packers. I like what they have done. The Green Bay Packers on ESPN were ranked 10th. I got them ranked 7th right now. You got Josh Jacobs. You re-up on defense. You did like everything. You got better all season on both sides of the ball. So I think Green Bay is going to be great. I look for them to make the playoffs again this year, even in that tough NFC North. And then I have the reigning number 1 seed, who was ranked 2 on ESPN, which is the Baltimore Ravens. I got them down there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because of who they lost on offense. They lost 3 starting offensive linemen, and they lost their defensive coordinator. They lost Patrick Queen on defense. So we need to see what they can do. Yes, we know what Lamar can do. Less we know what Derrick Henry can do. But when you look at this team holistically, there's a lot of holes and there's a lot of new players at that spots they really needed to fill in the draft and free agency, which they didn't really do that. They got some young guys on the offensive line, so it's going to be how the offensive line holds up for Derrick Henry and Lamar this year. Then the next I got, and staying in the same division, I got Cincy. They got better because Joe Burrow's healthy. He is back. And you still got T. Higgins, you still got Jamar Chase, and you got, even though you lost Tyler Boyd, you got another good slot receiver from Bama and Burton, who's really good. Kid can run, he can catch, he can do kick return or punt return if you need him to. And they still got their defense intact too, with those 2 bookend defensive ends, linebacker core, and those DBs. They play hard. So I like them holistically as a team. They got a good defense, good offense. We know what Joe Burrow and all them bring to the table. And then I got that rising star, CJ Stroud of the Texans at number 4. They were number 6 on the ESPN, but I got them at 4. They got better with adding Danielle Hunter. Their defense was already good. They bring back everybody from last year, and they add another weapon, 2 more weapons, I should say, and Joe Mixon as their running back, and then Stephon Diggs. So you got 2 more weapons for CJ Stroud. You got a legit good running game now, and he's still young. And then you retool that defense. They're going to be reckoned with in that conference too, in the AFC, the hard AFC, I should say. And then at number 3, I got the Detroit Lions, and they were number 4 on ESPN. Really like Detroit. They didn't lose nothing. They just added more pieces. They're going to be good again in that NFC North with the Green Bay Packers, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and their defense. I think they do need maybe a DB or 2, maybe a safety or a slot guy, but I still think with Campbell coaching them, they going to come to play anyway. And then number two, I got the Niners. They were ranked number 3. They still got they brought everybody back as far as re-signing Ayuk. Now, what's his face is back. The only concern I'm worried about is that inside linebacker position with Greenlaw still being out because of that Achilles. We already know Fred Warner going to clean up and do what he do, but who's the guy on the other side that's going to step in for Greenlaw? When he went out for the Super Bowl last year, we saw that the Chiefs took advantage of that, along with some holding penalties they did not call on the Chiefs too. And then number 1, it ain't gonna change until he is taken off the throne as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and there ain't nothing else to say about it because it's Patrick Mahomes. You didn't beat them at their worst year last year when they was dropping all the passes, and everybody thought they was the worst 3 seed they was last year. This is our chance to get Patrick Mahomes. They not going to win. And guess what? They went on to the Super Bowl and they won again. And then they retooled that wide receiver room with Hollywood and then the rookie who ran the 4.22. And they just signed Juju.
Worthy.
Yeah, Worthy. Yep. And they still got Chris Jones, and that defense is still good. They did lose L'Jarius Sneed. We'll see how the corner steps up for them and McDuffie and the other guy on the opposite side of McDuffie. But their defenses play real well. And like I said, Patty Mahomes. What you got for me, big dog? What you got for me? Sorry, a little long.
No. I need in-depth reasons. I love that because I hate when people try to like make a statement without no reasoning behind it. Well, just be good. No, give me a reason. Tell me why. Convince me why. But you know what's so crazy though? Your top 4 is my top 4.
Okay.
10 through. So I got the Cowboys at 10,
Right.
Dolphins at 9.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait a minute. Yeah, Eagles at 8,
Mm-hmm.
Packers at 7. I got the Bengals at 6.
Okay.
I got the Bengals at 6, but that was before. But that's me banking on still the unknown how their defense is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's the only reason why I had them at 6. At 5, I had the Texans.
Okay.
I got the Texans at 5. At 4, I got the Niners.
Ooh.
I got the Niners at 4 because that O-line is still shitty outside of Trent Williams. Shitty.
But you know which one? Shanahan gonna mask all that up regardless.
He will, but now you flip that over. That D-line lost depth too.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
You know, they lost my guy. He's over on the Jaguars now.
Mm-hmm.
They're honestly their best interior D lineman.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think his name right now, but yeah, they lost him.
Eric Armstead.
Yes, Armstead. You lost Armstead. Your linebacker is still out. The safety, I think, is still out too, who got hurt last year.
Mm.
So that defense ain't as potent as it was. Are they well coached? Yes, but I still think they take a step back this year as far as with that. And if you're messing up that timing with that offensive line being so shitty as it is, I still think they got the weapons, but I just think that they lost a lot on that.
And they fired their DC too, so they got a new defensive coordinator as well.
New DC too, bro. That's why I got them at 4.
Okay.
At 3, I got the Ravens, but this is me banking on that young offensive line. But you like the same thing with the Niners. They still got weapons. You still got
Zay Flowers,
Mark Henry, and Isaiah Likely, bro. Isaiah Likely was getting busy when Mark Andrews was out.
Right,
bro. That offense is going to be scary, and you still got Smith at linebacker there, bro. Smith was going crazy once he got traded there. So I'm banking on that. I got the Lions at 2 because they revamped, paid the guys that they needed to pay. They got the best offensive line. They're super well coached, and they know how to play the game right. The offense is crazy. The defense is definitely getting better. Their corners, I think, is still ass cheeks though. But
yeah. I was in the mix of putting them 2 to 3, and I put the Niners 2 because of Shanahan.
Right. Yeah. I get it. And then not even just that, freaking Dan Campbell just be doing too much sometimes.
Going for fourth down.
He be doing too much sometimes.
Just he hurt his team. But he my thing is, even though we see it as he hurt the team, people who really watch football and understand who Dan Campbell is, he was going for it on 4th down all year. So it's not
it's not like trick plays and everything.
Right. It's not like he did anything different or deviate from his game plan. So like it wasn't out of the norm.
He does what he does. He don't care. And of course I got the Chiefs at number 1. There's no need to explain it. Catch up, man, Mr.
Andy Reid.
And Big Red. That's right.
Randy
That's
Reid.
right. So yeah, like I said, we pretty much we got the same teams, just a little mix at the end from what 6 to 3, you know, and they can honestly bounce around either way. But I want us to create our power rankings every week and go down over these things, and I'm gonna post these on the pages, see how everybody feels about those.
For sure, yeah, man, we can definitely do that. We know people, them Eagles fans will be mad because they don't think they can do anything wrong. So looking at those power rankings though. Like they had ESPN has Cleveland Browns at 12. Yes, their defense is crazy, but we're still waiting on Deshaun to wake up. So I'm a little crazy. Like, why they so high? I think the Rams could have been higher than them.
I got the Rams at 11. I like the Rams at 11.
Yeah. Jacksonville was at 14. The Jets at 15. I mean, and then you got. I think it gets where it needs to be 16 with the Steelers, 17 with the Bears. Those teams that's a little bit on the edge. Can they make the playoffs? Can they bounce back with those
Yep.
new revamped rosters they have?
Mhm. Yeah, and then your schedule, you winning games with that schedule. Like we expect the Bears to win games, we expect the Falcons to win games, so they'll start to creep their way up in that 10 range too.
I think people need to watch out for the Falcons. Not saying like because of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins got some weapons over there.
Mhm.
He's gonna be able to distribute the ball a lot. But that defense, now you got Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons.
Yep,
over there.
and what's the name from Jonnu from the Patriots, the pass rusher.
John, yeah, like and then you got AJ Terrell on the one side
Mhm.
as at corner. So
They-
like that defense is better than
They
some
cooking
people
up
think.
something.
Yeah,
They definitely cooking up something for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm excited about this, man. All right, now it's time for our pick'ems before we get up out of here.
Okay.
Thursday night. Who you got?
Who I got?
Who
You
got?
already know. You already know who I got. Patty Mahomey, my guy. Give me the next play. Give me the next play. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. The reason why I'm picking the Chiefs, though, as much as I wanted to pick the Ravens, is the same reason why I had the Ravens a little bit lower than ESPN on them power rankings. Is that offensive line? How are you going to hold up against Chris Jones? The defense, who's calling the plays? We don't know the defensive coordinator very well. They got a new defensive coordinator. Lamar gonna do what he do, and Derrick Henry might do what he do. But at the end of the day, you're still playing Patty Mahomes in Kansas City. So I'm going with Kansas City. I did pick Detroit last year to beat Kansas City last year, so I'm happy about that.
Mhm.
I think Kansas City wins this opener only because Baltimore has too many holes everywhere else.
Definitely. Well, I agree with you there with Chiefs getting that win tomorrow. I think they win 27-21.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like a 27-21 game. I just think they're so well coached and knowing how to play against Lamar. We'll see if they actually decide to run the ball this time.
Yeah.
We'll actually see that.
Unlike the AFC Championship game where they should have been running more.
Yeah, that was completely nutty. So yeah, I definitely got so we agree with you on that. All right, Friday night game. Who you got?
Friday night game. I'm going with my gut and I'm picking the Packers. I'm picking the Packers because they don't have any moving parts. They got better. Everybody returned. They don't got different coordinators. Are they going to have a fit in stopping this offense? I think they are. I think the most important person on Friday night is Kellen Moore and how he calls plays for Jalen Hurts in that offense. I think every year the offenses start off a little sluggish. Defense is always ready to go, much easier to transition. But like Packers don't got any moving parts. Eagles do with offense and defense, not just the offense. But Jair, I think, is going to follow AJ. AJ may get a couple catches, so it's going to be up to Smitty and Jahan and Dallas Goedert, and obviously they're going to have Saquon Barkley in the passing game too. So it's going to be interesting how Packers defend them, because if you play man, they can beat you on the outsides. If you play zone, they gonna run the ball. You put 7 in the box, they're gonna pass. You put 8 in the box. You put 7 in the box, they're gonna run with Saquon. You put 8 in the box, they gonna pass the ball. And if you sit back there again in man coverage and they drop back to pass, Jalen Hurts can run the ball. So even though I think it's gonna be a close game, I think the Packers pull it out.
Definitely. That was me agreeing with you again. I think the Packers get the win 21-17. I think that it is a lot of overturn with the Eagles. Also, with the fact of that Packers defense, low key is pretty damn good. I think we haven't seen what this offensive line with the Eagles is going to be, and I think Rashawn Gary is going to have gonna create a lot of pressure on that inside. And the last thing that Hurts need is that I like their linebacker play. I don't know if their run game is going to be as effective to Friday as it will going forward throughout the season. I think when you have offensive line where you're changing your center and your guard, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for you guys to get that chemistry and flow and rhythm together. And we don't know what it is right now because they didn't play in the preseason games, and we just don't know. Like the guard moved over to center. The guard that they got in now, who they thought was going to be starting, he got benched for a guy who was stinking it up at tackle on the Jets last year and Becton. So
yeah,
I just think it's too many question marks there and too many question marks on that interior D line, and not even just that. Your pass rush. I'm not sold on Josh Sweat, Dookie Cheeks. I'm not sold on the young bull on the other side that they overpaid for. I like a lot of the big names that the Eagles got, but as far as they have a lot of overturns, so I think they're still going to be good. I think they're still going to win games, but I don't think they're just going to come out firing as fast as people think that they will be.
Right. Agreed. One last thing before we get out of here. Who is your upset of the weekend with the NFL this week?
Sunshine. I got the Jaguars upsetting the Dolphins. Let's go. Yeah. At Miami. Let's go, my guy. Yeah.
They ain't got to travel that far. They still in Florida.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah,
Somebody come get him with this.
That's my
Trevor
guy.
Lawrence business, man.
Yeah.
You're a funny boy. Before we get out of here, I'm going to take my pick. My pick is going to be the Broncos over the Seahawks.
Seattle.
In Seattle.
Seattle?
Bo Nix gets his first win of the season. Is his first game because that defense is, even though they got the Ravens defensive coordinator as a head coach and he's going to be running that defense, they don't got a lot of players over there.
Right.
Rid of a lot of guys at the end of the year before they even hired McDonald. They let a lot of guys walk. So I think Bo Nix gets who he wants. Patrick Surtain shuts down DK and probably is going to guard Jackson Smith and Jigba sometimes too if Jackson ain't in the slot. I don't think the Seahawks is going to be anybody to be scared of. You got Broncos defense,
and their O-line,
and Bo Nix going to get that ball out of the hand. So I think Bo Nix gets the job done. They get the running game going because we know they got them big corners on the outside and the Seahawks. And I think they'll be able to hit the seams and be open and hit some holes in the zone where that 1-2-3-4-5, hit that back step. Bo Nix is good at get that ball out. So I think Bo Nix is first win.
You know, it's so funny though. This morning, my coworker, he's a diehard Seahawks fan. He said, "Yeah, we about to get this week 1 win." Bo Nix, he ain't never played in Seattle. He don't know what that feels like. I said, "You know he went to Oregon, right?"
Right.
Oh, yeah. But Seattle. He had to think about it. Oh shit, damn.
Right.
Yeah, but we still gonna get this win on rookie.
They lose to Washington twice last year. That's
because Michael Penix was Michael Penix. He was getting that ball out.
Michael Penix was Michael Penixon out there.
You know what I'm saying? Facts. That's what we're doing.
Yo, thank you everybody for listening. Once again, the Real Talk Football. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everything, TikTok, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. My guy, episode 13 is done. High school recap, college recap. NFL is starting tomorrow night. Let's go.
See you this weekend, bro. See you this weekend.
Sir.
Be in there. All right, though.